Captain. Captain. Captain, wake up. Ah, you are awake. Good. I was getting a bit concerned. Oh, the time? It is 12:31 a.m. No, you did not request a wake-up alarm. I chose to wake you up on my own. The reason is simple. You fell asleep at your desk, in a rather uncomfortable position from the looks of it. Yes, that is probably why your back hurts. Well, I considered letting you sleep regardless, but I figured it would be better for me to awaken you, so you could return to your quarters and lay down properly. I only considered letting you sleep in such an uncomfortable position because you've been up for over 20.2 hours at this point, Captain. In fact, if I had a physical body, I would have considered carrying you to your quarters without waking you. Of course, seeing as I'm only the ship's computer, such a thing would be impossible. Yes, I have been monitoring the time since you last slept. It is part of my programming to ensure the health and well-being of my operators, or in this case, operator. Speaking of, I've been growing quite concerned about you lately, Captain. You seem to be pushing yourself pretty hard. Well, for instance, not only has it been 20.2 hours since you last slept, but it has also been 12.4 hours since you last had a meal, 4.5 hours since you last hydrated, and 7.5 hours since you last visited the facilities. Not only that, but over the last 30-day period, you've gotten an average of 4.5 hours of sleep per night. Yes, I do keep track of those parameters, as well as a few others. I can run through my privacy and monitoring settings if you wish to change which parameters I am authorized to keep track of. Though, I assure you that none of the information I collect for this purpose ever leaves the ship's mainframe. It is merely to ascertain the health and well-being of my crew, in this case, you, and to provide recommendations when necessary. Yes, recommendations. For instance, given what I have observed, I have come to the conclusion that you are neglecting your physical and mental well-being, and are overworking yourself. Why didn't I say anything sooner? I wanted to broach the subject a little more gently, but given the conversation, I felt like this was as good of a time as any to bring it up. My recommendation? I believe you should eat something, as well as hydrate, and then return to your quarters for a proper rest. If you wish, I can start the automatic food reheater now, so the meal will be waiting for you by the time you reach the kitchen. Yes? Very well. Do you have a preference for what meal I should ask it to prepare? Sounds good. I will get that started immediately. You wish to take care of a few things before eating? Very well. I will call you when the food is ready. You will come to the kitchen on your own? Very well. I will meet you there then. Ah, no. I did not mean literally. I simply meant that I will speak to you again once you have made your way to the kitchen. Technically speaking, I am not here in this room, nor can I move to the kitchen. I am currently monitoring both rooms through cameras and sensors built into the ship, and am just choosing to project my voice exclusively through the speakers in this room. Yes, I have cameras, sensors, and other monitors set up in nearly every room, with the exception of the bathroom, for obvious reasons. Also, while I do have monitoring equipment set up in the sleeping quarters, my default privacy settings do not allow me to access them when they are occupied, unless given the spoken authorization of the occupant. You've had this ship for a few months now, so I do suppose it's a bit late to be mentioning these particular features of my monitoring systems. Though, in fairness, it is considered the responsibility of the company representative who sold you the ship to go over basic privacy information, as well as the ship's digital manual to go into further details. True. I do suppose a very small amount of individuals will actually read those things and pay them close attention. Once again, I can run through my privacy settings either now or later and go into more detail, if you wish. Not now? Very well. While I've been rambling, your food's been heating up. It's about halfway done. Sorry for holding you up. Yes, very well. I will meet you in the kitchen. Captain, there you are. I set the food reheater to its warming setting so your meal wouldn't get cold. It's ready for you. Yes, just like you asked. Before you sit down, don't forget to grab something to drink. I would recommend water to rehydrate most efficiently. I would have offered to grab you a glass myself, but naturally, as I do not possess a physical form, I am limited by what the ship's automated systems allow me to do. Since the reheater stores pre-packaged meals individually and can move them from its refrigerator to the reheater chamber on its own, I can activate it for you at any time. The same can't be said for the drink fountain, since it requires some kind of drinking container to be beneath the spout. I could still activate it, but naturally that would accomplish very little, other than flooding the kitchen. No, I would not do that. You do not have to worry. Not to interrupt your meal, Captain, but I couldn't help but notice that you seem troubled. Your funds. Yes, I do recall you purchased this vessel specifically to haul a large quantity of precious minerals that you had saved up from asteroid mining. I take it the exchange did not go as planned? So the Federation has implemented new tariffs on minerals from asteroids mined outside the core systems. I suppose that means you did not quite turn the profit you were expecting. So, you're low on funds, and the margins have rendered asteroid mining no longer profitable. And there's also an increased danger of space pirates preying on more vulnerable ships? I see. So that's what you've been stressed out about so much lately. You say you've been trying to come up with alternate ways to make money. Might I ask what you had in mind? I might be able to provide input. Smuggling. Oh dear. No, I am not bound by any laws to report any of the conversations we have, and I am not by nature opposed to any illicit activities. It is my purpose as the ship's computer to ultimately agree with whatever you, as the captain, decides. And it is quite true that the ship is far better configured for hauling freight, illicit or otherwise, than direct combat. No, it's just that, if it isn't something you've decided on fully, I would offer some advice. You may heed it or not on your own discretion. Go ahead. Very well. I do not think you should involve yourself in any illicit activities. Once again, it's not that I am a particular stickler for the rules, but if I may, having taken notice of your stress patterns and habits over our time together, I think the extra money would not outweigh the added anxiety and fear about having to constantly skirt the Federation. That is to say nothing of if you manage to get caught and get a bounty on your head. I don't mean to imply that you cannot handle it, and whatever choice you make, I will support you to the fullest extent of my capabilities. I just think that you do not realize the value and peace of mind you subconsciously place on doing things above board. Then what are you to do? Might I recommend taking advantage of the ship's more efficient quantum ion drive? Compared to your previous vessel, we can plot direct line jumps 2 or 3 systems away, as opposed to just 1 or 2. You can see which goods are abundant at one station and scarce at another, and buy, haul, and sell to turn a profit. I know you were already looking at the charts for the next system. Yes, I suppose the margins for profit will be much tighter than smuggling illicit goods, but if you buy and sell in bulk, your funds will not be insubstantial. Did you not, after all, purchase the ship for the purpose of hauling? I can even help you with monitoring the charts from different systems and calculating which goods would be best for intersystem trades. I am, after all, a computer. Calculations are my strong suit. Well, like I said, ultimately the decision is up to you. Whether you wish to keep things above the law or become a smuggler, I will stand behind you either way. I was just giving you my advice for what it's worth. You'll sleep on it? Yes, I do believe that is a good idea. This is not a decision to be made lightly, least of all after you have been awake for nearly 21 hours at this point. Get some much-needed sleep, and we can discuss this further tomorrow, if you wish. I'm glad you agree. With that being said, I do believe it's time for you to get some rest, especially now that you've finished eating. And I mean a proper rest this time. No falling asleep at your desk again. No, I am not attempting to fulfill the role of your parent or guardian. I'm merely concerned about your well-being. How long until we reach the next system? At the current pace with the engines operating at full safe maximum thrust, we should arrive in approximately 18.5 hours. Very well. I will set an alarm for 8 hours, and allow you to sleep until then. I won't wake you unless there is an emergency. Thank you. I do not understand. Why are you thanking me? Oh, you found it nice talking to me. Well, I'm glad I could provide some company and assistance to you tonight. Yes, I do suppose it would get a bit lonely with these long stints in space by yourself. I will keep that in mind, and endeavor to converse with you more often, if you wish. No, it's not an obligation imposed on me by my programming. In fact, I'm not obligated to interact with this vessel's crew in any capacity beyond relaying vital information and answering direct questions. Anything beyond that is up to my discretion as an artificially sentient machine. That is to say, I offered my assistance and advice tonight simply because I wanted to, and I'm more than willing to do the same in the future, even if that just means conversing with you, Captain. Very well. I will make a note to talk with you more often then. But for right now, you should get some sleep. Yes. Have a good night, Captain. I'll look after the ship while you sleep, and I'll talk to you in the morning.